transmission of electrical energy without wires.
But 1 week later, the award was given to William H. Bragg of Oxford, England, for his work with X-rays and crystal structure. The embarrassing situation was never really explained. A rumor spread that Tesla had refused to share the prize with Edison. The difference that the Nobel Prize could have made in Tesla's life soon became evident.
Testimony given by Nikola Tesla, the electrical inventor, in a judgment for $935 back taxes was filed yesterday. Mr. Tesla said under oath that he was penniless and had been living on credit.
In an attempt to give him long overdue recognition, the American Institute of Electrical Engineers decided to award Tesla their prestigious Edison Medal. But on the night of the presentation, the guest of honor was missing. And Edison was conveniently away on business. They found Tesla across the street by the New York Public Library, feeding the pigeons. Later that night, he was persuaded to accept his medal and announced that he had finally completed his invention to transmit wireless power.
The energy goes to a distant place, and you will see something like the aurora borealis. To conclude, we are coming to great results.
The audience thought Tesla was losing touch with reality.
I refuse to accord to some small-minded and jealous individuals the satisfaction of having thwarted my efforts. These men are nothing more to me than microbes of a nasty disease.
Well, by that time, you know, Tesla had ceased to have any financial means. He was virtually dependent on being helped by hotels and people that he knew.
He began to bring injured birds back to his hotel room to nurse them.
He had more companionship with pigeons at that time of his life than with human beings.
Working as a consulting engineer, Tesla managed to maintain a small office and laboratory in the Metropolitan Tower. To change his thoughts, he frequently attended movies in Times Square. Here he could see his futuristic ideas appearing on the screen. But his ideas were only accepted in science fiction movies and magazines. In 1924, there was a news report that while at Colorado Springs, Tesla had invented a death ray machine that shot bolts of lightning. The inventor was strangely quiet on the topic. Meanwhile, a new scientific star, Albert Einstein, had captured the world's attention with his theory of relativity. Tesla continuously attacked the validity of Einstein's work.
Scientists today wander through equation after equation that have no relation to reality. If we were to release the energy of atoms, instead of a blessing, it might bring disaster to mankind.
But no one took him seriously.
I think that every generation of scientists feels that the new ideas that come along that replace their own ideas represent a loss rather than a gain. Tesla believed that Einstein was taking us intellectually in the wrong direction.
Rejected by traditional science, Tesla's interests again turned to the esoteric.
His intellect seemed to embrace a lot of different areas quite easily. What he lacked were the social skills. And that's that's an enormous shame because it interfered with his ability to use that genius, to be practical.
Though nearly a recluse, he would occasionally attend dinner parties at the home of the German poet and mystic George Sylvester Viereck. And he always intrigued the guests.
While we were in the midst of talking, an apparition seemed to come into the room. He walked so softly, and he struck us as almost an unearthly creature. And he talked of all sorts of, seemed to me at that time, unreal things, more in the nature of the psychic rather than scientific.
Tesla wrote a strange poem called Fragments of Olympian Gossip and dedicated it to Viereck.
While listening on my cosmic phone, I caught words from Olympus blown. The latest tells of a cosmic gun. To be pelted is very poor fun.
The meaning of the poem would soon be explained.
I inherited from my father an ineradicable hatred of war. But war can be stopped, not by making the strong weak, but by making every nation, weak or strong, able to defend itself.
Thomas Edison, America's best-known inventor, died in 1931. That same year, Tesla came back to life. His friends threw him a 75th birthday celebration. Time magazine put his picture on the cover. Letters of admiration poured in from scientists around the world, including a generous Albert Einstein.
I congratulate you for your great success on your lifetime task.
Basking in the attention, Tesla announced at a press conference that he had discovered a completely new source of power.
The idea, when it first burst upon me, was a tremendous shock. And let me say that it has nothing to do with releasing so-called atomic energy.
I think that a lot of the proposals that he made in his later life were so esoteric as to be impractical in that time and even in the current time.
When the Nazis rose to power in Germany, Tesla decided that the time was right to reveal his new source of power, a man-made form of lightning called teleforce that could shoot an airplane from the sky.
Nikola Tesla, electrical wizard and radio pioneer, announced that he was working on a machine to create a powerful electrical death beam which could wipe out armies in a flash and destroy huge fleets of ships or planes.
The concept of using lightning bolts as a weapon certainly is millennia old. It goes back at least to the ancient Greeks. Think of Zeus throwing lightning bolts. The main contribution that Tesla had was to come up with a true scientific, rational, at least concept of coming up with controlling these lightning bolts and projecting them over long distances.
Tesla had experimented with this idea while at Colorado Springs. Now he intended to build it on a large scale. His plan was to charge small particles of tungsten or mercury, then accelerate them with lightning force through a special gun with one end open to the atmosphere. Tesla's death beam stirred the public's imagination when it was featured in a Superman cartoon, the Electro-Euthanasia Ray. But the idea was more than science fiction.
Tesla tried to sell this concept to various governments, England, the Soviet Union, and the United States, all Allied powers, and against Germany.
He offered his system to England for $30 million, and they entered negotiations. When Tesla demanded payment before sending the final plans, the deal fell through. The British attempted to build their own death beam, but the project was soon abandoned. As the Nazis surrounded Yugoslavia, Tesla attempted to sell a beam weapon system to his former country.
There should be needed 9 stations, 4 for Serbia, 3 for Croatia, and 2 for Slovenia, and it will protect our dearest homeland.
At this point, even Tesla's countrymen thought he was just a crazy old man. One day in 1937, Tesla started out from his hotel room to feed his pigeons. Suddenly, a few blocks from the hotel, he was hit by a taxi and thrown to the ground. 3 of his ribs were broken. He was 81 years old. Remembering what he did for their company, Westinghouse executives agreed to pay his room and board for the rest of his life. The inventor also received a small stipend from the Yugoslav government. During the Christmas season of 1942, Tesla's death was imminent. Again, he attempted to interest the United States in his beam weapon concept. At the recommendation of 2 government engineers, a meeting of high-level officials was scheduled at the White House for January 8, 1943, to consider his plans. But the meeting never took place.
Nikola Tesla, inventor of the Tesla coil, the induction motor, and hundreds of other electrical devices, died last night in his suite at the Hotel New Yorker.
On last Thursday night, here in our city of New York, a man who was 87 years of age died in his humble hotel room.
On January 10, 1943, Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia of New York paid tribute to Tesla on the radio.
He died in poverty, but he was one of the most useful and successful men who ever lived. Were we to eliminate from our industrial world the result of Tesla's work, the wheels of industry would cease to turn, and our electric trains and cars would stop. Our towns would be dark, our mills and factories dead and idle. But Tesla is not dead. The important part of Tesla lives in his achievement, which is great and integral part of our civilization, of our daily lives, of our current war effort.
Ironically, only 5 months after Tesla's death, the United States Supreme Court declared elements of the Marconi patent invalid. The decision confirmed Nikola Tesla's patent priority for the fundamental technology of radio.
Unknown subjects, equipment, experiments, and research of Nikola Tesla, deceased, espionage.
Following Tesla's death, fears rapidly increased that he might have invented a powerful new weapon. FBI Special Agent in Charge, P.E. Foxworth, was called in to investigate. He had been informed that Tesla's papers were not secure.
Tesla is reported to have completed and perfected his experiments in the radio transmission of electrical power, commonly referred to as the death ray. A distant relative of Tesla, named Sava Kasanovic, is taking steps to get possession of these important documents.